All right. So I'm going to try to do this a couple different ways. I got this on live. I'm going to make this a big screen. There you go. If anybody has any posts, they can certainly comment on here. But I'm going to go ahead and go through this. And then I have the polls right below me. I'll see if I can. Yeah, I might be able to put them up there as well. All right. So the first thing I wanted to do is obviously we're going to go through the areas where, it's a clear understanding of who's going to win. So if we go into this, it's going to be Washington. It's pretty clearly a dark blue. Oregon, dark blue. California, dark blue. So let's just start there. Idaho, if you look at the polls of how, let me go ahead and pull up the rest of my, we'll go ahead and go through this. So some of the states, they don't have much information, but so in places like Idaho, Trump's up pretty big. He looks to be up anywhere in the neighborhood of 30 to 40 points. So we're not going to really go through those. Same with, California being ones that are going to be very much Harris. So we'll go through a couple of those. Let me go ahead and go through. Okay, if we start off with a map that is from 2020, okay, we have, and then, if you look at also from 2020 to from 2016, what you can see is you go Montana is going to go red. You have all the way down the middle, pretty much standard, is going to be red, 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 red. Okay. Utah is going to go red. Wyoming goes red, and then Colorado typically goes blue. Now, on this map, as you're going to see, I'm actually not going to go lean. I'm just going to go right into what they're going to vote until we get to the swing states. Okay. So Montana's been red. Same for Arkansas. Same with Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana. And then also West Virginia. Okay, and for Team Blue, we got Vermont. You got Massachusetts. You got Rhode Island. You got Connecticut. You got New York. You got New Jersey. You got Delaware. You got Maryland. Okay, so these are the states, Illinois. Okay, so that takes care of pretty much your where there's no real swing to those at all. Okay, those are just kind of how it is. All right, and so the next thing to kind of look at, if you're going to go through the battleground states, we'll start with Nevada, kind of going left to right. So what I can show you here is, let's go ahead and exit the full screen for a second, and then what we're going to do is we're going to add a different screen just for a moment. Let's go ahead and present. I'm going to go ahead and go latest polls, Nevada. Okay, so make that nice and big for you. Okay, now let me show you something about the Nevada poll. Okay, as you can see, you have, so Atlas Intel is the most accurate poll rated. So they're at Trump +3. Here's the way that I think people should look at these. Okay, you have to be able to compare how it's been going. So for instance, what you want to do is you want to kind of go back here and let's just find one. We have the Hill, Emerson, tie. Okay, so if you go to the Hill and you go to an older poll, okay, let's go down here and we'll see the Hill, Emerson right here. Okay, so about a quarter of the way down the page, you'll see the Hill, and if you come over, what you'll notice is it was Harris +1. Okay, and if you go down even further, it was a tie. If you go down further than that, it was Harris +1. Okay, so that shows pretty much no movement there. Okay, Atlas has one here where Trump was +6. That one has here Trump +3. Let's see what Atlas had before. Trump +4. Atlas has here Trump +1. Atlas here, tie. Atlas here, Harris +3. And as you start getting older into it, yeah, that was the last one here. So you're going from where Harris was at 3 to where now it's got Trump at 6 and Trump at 3. Okay, so even though it says Trump +6, let's look at something else real quick that I think is important. Let's go ahead and notice that in 2020, Biden won by 3.3. That was the last day. This is what it said here. So this number, the 0.06, this number was plus 3.3. Now, if you actually looked at the final election results for Nevada, for 2020, okay. So for 2020, Biden actually won. Let me see. So Biden won by 2.3, okay? And the last poll was 3.3. So it overvalued Biden by about a point. Okay, in 2016, it said Trump plus 0.08. And let's see what the 2016. Hillary Clinton actually won by 2 points there. Okay, so this one is extremely close. Your latest polls look like Trump's up by maybe a point or two, but very close. This one could obviously go both ways. But with the latest polls showing that Trump is up +3 here, this says Harris +3, so we'll call that a wash. Here's Harris 1, here's Trump +6. Trump +2, Harris +2, that'd be a wash. I still think Trump's up, and it's not trending enough. Let me go ahead and pull it up here. Not trending enough. You know, most of the polls have Trump's up. Even, let's see the Susquehanna poll, what it had before. Susquehanna had Trump +6. Still Trump +6. Still looks very close. Very close. So for our chart, I'm going to go ahead and remove this. I'm going to present. Okay. So based on the latest polls having Trump up, we're going to put that as just a slight advantage to red. Arizona's numbers, I'll just go ahead and tell you. Arizona's latest poll, every single one has Trump up. Okay. The last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 polls in Arizona all have Trump ahead. So Trump is going to be ahead there as well. New Mexico, it has in blue. Iowa isn't even considered a battleground state anymore. The latest poll in Ohio has Trump up 12. Another one has Trump up 9. So Ohio looks firmly rooted in red. Okay. Let's go to that. Firmly rooted in red. We have let's go back to the latest polls. We have Michigan. Michigan, the latest Trump. We have 2 for Trump, +2. That's the Atlas Intel. We have the Hill Emerson poll. The Hill Emerson poll has Harris +2. If we go to Michigan, the movement looks like it's going Trump. They got Harris plus 0.5 point. But something to remember is in 2020, it had Biden by 5.4. It had Biden favored by 5.1. In the final election in 2020, the final Michigan election results. Okay. Biden ended up only winning by 2 points. In the last data from Michigan he was up by 5. And the year before, same thing, Clinton by 3.5, and she ended up losing. Yeah, maybe I need to do OBS. Well, I have another platform, but this is kind of a wing it the night before. I just wanted to get this out there, Jeff. This is going to be very accurate here. So Michigan, again, although it looks close, it still looks red in the latest polls. Okay. Then we're going to go to the battleground state of Minnesota. Okay, Minnesota still looks solid for Harris. The latest polls that came out were just yesterday. It has Harris +2. Very, very close, but we'll go ahead and give it to her, even though last time it was off by about 2 percentage points. So it's very possible. So go to Wisconsin. Now, I want to actually show this poll, but I will let you guys know. What they did was it has Harris plus 0.4, but they threw a CNN poll in that has Harris +6, and that's just absolutely ludicrous. I'll bet anybody a steak dinner that wants to bet one. Wisconsin's going to go red, even though it says 0.4 by Harris. Virginia looks to go blue. Now, I will tell you this. The latest polls out of Virginia do not look great for Harris. She still should win by about 4 or 5 points. I say it's probably going to be closer to 3. North Carolina will go red. South Carolina go red. New Hampshire is an interesting one, okay, because New Hampshire is only about a 3%. Rasmussen had them at 1%. So very interesting there. I still think New Hampshire does go blue. Maine, the 1 will go. There you go. It'll end up being like that. So this is where we're at. We'll be 218, 245. Georgia, the latest polls. First of all, the minute that a hurricane rolled through and people were getting $700, and then finding out that illegal immigrants were getting thousands of dollars, it just didn't poll well. Georgia, ever since then, had been pulling away. A lot of fishy stuff happened in Georgia last time, but Trump's been +3, +2, +1. So Georgia still seems to be firmly. It also was underestimated by about a point. So it looks like Trump should be up at about 2.7 points right now. I think that's about how it'll end up. Florida, it's gone stone cold red at this point. There's really, most people don't even consider it as a battleground state anymore. And now it does come down to Pennsylvania. The latest Pennsylvania polls, we'll go ahead and pull those up. The latest Pennsylvania polls have Trump +1, Trump +1, a tie, Trump +1, Trump +1. So he's ahead in the last 4 of the last 5 polls. There's actually an Echelon Heights poll that's got Trump +6, a Marist poll that has Harris +2, but it does have Trump. Now, Trump tends to overshoot his goals here in Pennsylvania. Last time in 2020, Biden had +2.6. He ended up winning by less than 1%. In 2016, Clinton and the final polls were up +2.1, but she ended up losing the state. Trump won the state. So it's actually probably about a 3.4% spread by Trump right now. Very impressive. I don't think Pennsylvania will be that close. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is what let's go ahead and make Alaska red, Hawaii blue. So I have them at 313. If anybody wants to bet me a steak dinner, I would certainly do it. Okay. This is what's going to happen. Now, I will tell you this. Here's an interesting thing. If Pennsylvania goes early and it goes to Trump, Virginia could be in play. Minnesota then could be in play. And this is what the map could look like at the end of the night, which would be an enormous win for Trump. Now, here's the downside. The worst case scenario for Donald Trump, the best case scenario for Kamala Harris would be that Kamala Harris pulls out Pennsylvania. If she pulls out Pennsylvania, she'll win Virginia. Even if she did that, then I do believe that she would end up winning Minnesota. And I still don't see how she would get there, even with Pennsylvania. Now, maybe she pulls Michigan. But do you guys see the problem here? The problem is she doesn't have enough to win. She would have to win. Trump just basically has to win Pennsylvania because it's just not looking good. She would have to win Pennsylvania. They'd have to do some fishy stuff in Georgia. She would have to win Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Michigan. There's just not that many swing states. That's her problem. If Georgia goes red, there's really no path to victory. She would even lose. Now, you'd still have to get to 270, so this is a possibility. But here's the thing. There's actually one. Where is that one? I think here we go. It's actually one of these goes blue. So this is actually what it's going to look like. How crazy would that be? That would take that would be a wild situation here. And it's possible, but it would take her to win basically a clean sweep. Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. If she clean sweeps it, she still comes up short, and we would be looking at essentially a runoff at that point. Yeah, that would be a. Oh, here we go. Hold on, nope, because there it goes. That would put her over the top. So she would have to win all of those, and that's how she would win. So I'd forgotten DC. So, but what's going to happen is Pennsylvania is going to go Trump. It certainly looks that way. It's close, but not really as close as they're making it. And one of the things that I would show people is that if you look at the polling itself, they keep throwing unrealistic polls in there. I mean, Arizona is just not a swing state. It's just not. And Nevada, I don't see how. Let me go ahead and go to Nevada again. I mean, Nevada's possible. I guess Nevada's possible for blue. Best case scenario for Kamala would be, or Kamala, I don't know. Maybe I'm saying it the wrong way. This would be the, let me see, the best case scenario for Kamala would be that. Best case, I guess theoretically, she could get there. That would be just catastrophic for Trump. I mean, that would be a huge victory for Kamala. Let's look at how 2020 turned out. This was 2020, but since then, that is just an absolute clean sweep. Where it looks like Georgia's not going to go that way. Wisconsin, I would say is, you can make an argument for this. But I don't know if there's a way that they don't get, hey, what's up, babers? Linda, Adam. But Kamala Harris's best situation, since I know we got a Kamala person on here now, Krista. Let me go ahead and show you her best case scenario. Would probably be that. But I really don't see a situation where she wins. Let me see. Is it Wisconsin? Yeah, Wisconsin's pretty solidly red right now. So that might be the best case. Oh, that would be a heck of a situation. Oh, just kidding. What's up? What's up? But yeah, it could be really close if this happens, if this situation happens where Nevada does go. This would actually take the vice president's vote or the Speaker of the House vote. That would be wild if that happened. But again, I'll be getting off here shortly, but this would be my bet. I feel very confident that it's going to look somewhere in the neighborhood of 311, possibly losing Nevada. But here's the thing is, if Trump wins Pennsylvania and Michigan and Wisconsin and Georgia, I mean, people just, if it closes early, they are not going to be worried about, Democrats are not going to come out for Nevada. It's just not going to matter. And if that situation happens, whether we like it or not, the voting moves from right to left. Now, it doesn't mean that they'll have it all in. Georgia should be decided soon. A lot of people did early voting. Early voting in Georgia highly favors Donald Trump. So, my neighbor's saying it's across the street. But this would be this is where I think it's going to land. Again, the only one that I really believe is up for grabs here is Michigan. And Michigan, it's very possible that Michigan turn blue, even if Pennsylvania. I think Pennsylvania is going to be undecided for a while. So I think it's going to kind of look like this. But I may get on here tomorrow fill it up. What's up, Laura? But this, as of right now, this is what the polls say. This is not my opinion. The 311 is not my opinion. This is what the polls say right now. If you really dig into the polls and you look at the trends of the polls, this is what they say. Now, sometimes people don't believe polls. That's certainly understandable. But this is what the polls are saying right now. So if anybody on this live wants me to kind of, if they have a question about one of the states and they want me to pull up the data and go over it with them, I certainly can. But this is what the polls say. So I will stand by this. I'm very, very confident that Trump's going to end up with over 300. I mean, again, worst case scenario, I think he's at 295. Now, of course, funny stuff can happen. The Michigan, Michigan is the biggest. It has the most polls for Harris. So it could look like this. The only thing that makes me question this is that the polls in this area in Michigan have been extremely wrong. Biden 5.1, he ended up winning by 3%. So that's 2% off. And then Clinton plus 3.6, Donald Trump took it by 0.5%, which means that one was 4% off. So both of them have been, the polls there have been, let's say 2 to 4% off. Even if you count it just 2, Trump would take it. Harris is only up 0.6. And that's the best case scenario, is that she takes Michigan. So I think this is, without any shenanigans, this is what it will look like. Best case scenario for Kamala. And then again, one more time, what I actually think will happen. I actually think it's going to like that. So I got 311. And again, if anybody has any questions, I'll stay on here for a minute. But this is what the polls, again, this is what the polls say. And so that's why it's my opinion, not because, I am voting for Trump, full disclosure. And so, yeah, if you ask me, I would love that to happen. That it could, but that would be just unbelievable. It could also actually, best case scenario for Trump would be that. He's not going to win those other places. This would be a landslide victory. So that's what I got for you guys. I'm going to go ahead and put the picture up of what I'm saying that it's going to be based on the polls. See how I definitely messed that. Oh, yeah. Minnesota blue. I put something else there. Dang it. Which one am I missing here? Yeah. Yeah, that's, Virginia. That's what it was. Yeah. So that's what I think it's going to be. 311. I'll go ahead. If anybody out there wants to get the bet in before tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., I'll bet anybody a steak dinner out there that Trump will win the election and that he'll have over 300. The only thing is if it hits that. I'll say 295 would be my bet. No less than 295. All right, everybody. Have a good night. I wish everybody the best. Again, I'm going to start doing these. They'll get a little bit better. I apologize. This being my first one in a while, I just wanted to make sure that I got this out there. And hopefully people got to see it a little bit, enjoy it.